Hello and welcome to Ebb and Flow Receive and Let Go show, where we discuss the energies of the new and full moon every month. I'm your host, Jamie Layton, and I have with me my good friend,
Llewellyn Christine, nice to meet y'all.
Yeah, welcome back from last week. We have an eclipse. I don't even know where to begin with this moon. This is intense. I think intense is the proper word. Energy that's going on. Start with the square between the moon and Mars. I think that's the most potent energy going on, right? Well, one of the most potent energies.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more. There's so much energy that's happening right now in the ethers that, it kind of makes sense why everything's happening. So when we have an eclipse energy, we can feel it, 3 days before, but I've actually been noticing it happens a little before that, especially with the empaths, because you're so sensitive feeling that energy. So like 10 days before the eclipse, you can feel this intense karmic energy that's coming in to help speed up, to help intensify, to help move that stagnant energy. And especially with this lunar eclipse, it's squaring Mars.
Yeah.
So what's Mars all about? Mars is about action, anger, there's so much releasing going on. There's so much frustration going on. And unfortunately, right now, we can actually see it in the world when we just like turn on TV or turn on Facebook. Everywhere we live, people are getting angry. And, right now, it's my opinion, it's getting released.
Yeah. That's what the moon's all about. The full moon is about releasing. And I think we have no choice but to release with this Mars energy squaring this moon, because Mars is action. Mars is about, lighting that fire under the butt and getting things done. So we might feel more motivated to do things this time around, to stand up for what we feel and how we're feeling. And I mean, it's already happening. I think that has a lot to do with the conjunction between Pluto and Jupiter, mass destruction that's going on, because that's Pluto right there. There's also another side to that, though. I think it's also going to be mass transformation. I really think that we need these things right now, as hard as it is to say, in order to, the system was broken. I mean, we all have to admit the system is broken. And in order for things to change, we need some action. And I'm not agreeing with the destruction, but I see why with Jupiter and Mars that's going on. I mean, Jupiter and Pluto, the mass destruction. That's Jupiter's massive. It's about abundance, and we're seeing that happen with the destruction and the Pluto going on.
Yeah. So back in January when we had Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Pluto, all these heavy hitters, they're coming back into play because a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, the planets went retrograde. So we're gonna hit that one more time, actually, and another time in a couple of months, because we want to make sure that we're actually, clearing out the energy. So Pluto's all about that destruction. It's the rebirth of something new, but before things are new, it kind of has to be broken down. And with Saturn, it's all about the lessons, and it's a lot of transformation going on right now. And it's for the greater good. It's for the best. It's just right now, when we're in the midst of it, we might not be able to have that kind of viewpoint. But there's a lot of changes that are going on, things that we're seeing, and things so much that are not being shown to you. And one of the greatest things that we have is the gift of discernment, where we can feel what's right within our spirits, and we can say that does make sense, or questions might be posed where inside it just doesn't set right. And when you feel that intuition, honor and listen to it and see what your intuition's trying to actually tell you. Because with all this transformation going on and all these things are like they're popping up, it's kind of like the veils are being cleared. It's kind of like it's being withdrawn from you, where it's no longer you're going to be told what to believe. Like, we're sovereign beings. Like, this is who we are. We can think, we can feel for ourselves. We don't necessarily have to be told. But when you start seeing all these little pieces that are coming into play, we really got to stop and does that make sense? And if that doesn't make sense, like what's going on? So, this full moon lunar eclipse in Sag. The last time we actually had this set of eclipses was from 2010 to 2013. So have a moment right now, like, where were you during that time? Because, things are going to be, changed. It's going to be restored. It's going to be renewed. It's, your thinking point, because it's Gemini, and Gemini my Gemini friend over there. Gemini is all mental.
Yeah, this is actually, I was born under the Sagittarius full moon in Gemini. So I feel like I'm going to really be feeling this energy. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, like you said, we're not being shown. Like, for example, yes, there's a lot of destruction and rioting and looting going on, but there's another side of that too, where you have the peaceful protesters who are going out there shaking hands with the police officers, hugging the police officers, telling people to stop the destructing. We should be standing up for what's right. And that's what they're doing. They're standing up for what they believe in and what's right. And that's right there. That's the Venus, standing up for your values, your value system. But we're not being shown the whole thing. We are only being shown the destruction and how we're divided and not how we're really united. And I see that's so humbling. It's actually bringing tears to my eyes. We had in New Jersey, I think there was a protest going on and the police officers were actually walking with the protesters. That's beautiful. That's unity. That's coming together. So the destruction is happening, but I think transformation is going to bring us, we have much more in common than not. We are one race. We are the human race. We need to be united. That's how we grow. That's how we change and transform this broken system that's existing right now.
Another thing though that's not being technically seen, we're also having another square with Neptune to the square with the moon and also with the sun. So Neptune can be very illusionary, very deceptive at times. And with eclipse energy, they usually last for 6 months. However, we're actually having 3 eclipses this summer. And so our next eclipse will be on Father's Day. It'll be a solar eclipse though. And then the following month in July, we'll be having our, the eclipse in Cancer. And so this period, even though it's very intense, when it normally would last 6 months, it's not going to last about until July 5th until we have the other eclipse in Cancer, where we're kind of restarting our emotions. So everything that's happening, it just makes sense with the energy through astrology that's actually present. So not just Neptune squaring the sun, obviously the moon, it's squaring the sun as well. And Neptune is a spiritual planet, but at the same time, there's the positive and the balance of the planets. And so think of, I'm gonna say the shadow side of the planet, but what if let's say Neptune isn't balanced, what possibly can that lead to? And that's a big part of what the energy is going on for the next couple of weeks. It's removing the veils, having information actually be given to us, but we have to kind of, like I was saying earlier, do the legwork, going inside, checking with our intuition, seeing does that make sense, and have that gift of discernment.
Yeah, well, moon is about using your intuition. It's about feeling and getting knowledge through your intuition, through that feeling. We have the moon's being really hit hard right now when you think about it. It's already opposing the sun, which is a hard aspect. Then with the square of Mars, I feel like there's going to be angry emotions. And on top of that, the moon is also the mother. So fierce protection. People are going to be fiercely protecting what's rightfully theirs. I see people outside protecting their businesses with, their own firearms and their own family members, just to make sure that it's not going to be destroyed. There's a lot of that going on right now. We're all in this protection mode, even on social media, I'm seeing people fighting back and forth about what's going on, but nobody really knows the whole truth. So we're all in this protection mode, and we all need to, I guess we just really need to release. That's exactly we have no choice right now. We have to release these emotions. We have to release these fears. And I think that's what's really going to unite us.
And full moon is, all about releasing things that are no longer serving us. We can, put them down so other things, can come into our life. And, with all this, emotionally charged moon, it makes sense why people are getting angry right now. Yeah. It makes 100% sense. And, even, with the moon square Mars aspect, even possible earthquakes could be happening in the next couple, or earthquakes or, volcanoes because of It's just that very intense energy. You know, we talked about what we possibly can do like during the new moon services. And so I think it'd be a good idea to like, you know, what are things that you do, Jamie, during a full moon ceremony?
So what I do normally with every full moon, and we have to remember this is an eclipse, so it's like a full moon times
On steroids.
Yeah, it's the energy is so potent and strong. A lot of people believe that eclipses are portals too, of bringing in and taking out energy, and I see that happening right now. But for what I normally do on a full moon is I'll write out the things that I need to release, and symbolically I will burn it. Well, I do it literally too, but it's a symbolic releasing, like just taking it all away. And I tell you, after doing it every single time, I feel like things are lifted. I feel like I'm open to now receive because I've cleared the space. And that's what we need to do, that mentally, physically, emotionally. Go through your closet, start releasing, start getting rid of stuff, because when this eclipse with Cancer comes in, we're going to be receiving. Whether that's information, whether that's new feelings, whatever it is, we need to clear the space, clean out the cobwebs, and release. It's a big word, release, right now. But yeah, I do a little, you know, prayer ceremony. I do, the burning is very important to me. Like I write it and I burn it and I say a little prayer as I burn it. I put out water for moon water, and I use it, you know, to clean my house and water my plants. And I also put out crystals because this is how you charge your energy too.
Yeah. So like the full moon is one way that you can actually cleanse your crystals. If you could take if you can have the ability to take your crystals and put them outside, or at least put them on the, you know, the windowsill so their energy can be, you know, cleansed. Be one way. You can also use moon water. You can sage your crystals. You know, there's multiple ways that people like, you know, cleanse their little beautiful babies. But like, I love that you write it down, and I love that you have like the physical representation of burning it. So it's like actually truly being released. And so like when we're doing these, you know, these services, basically it's just figuring out like, what is our intention? Like, what are we getting clear on? What do we actually want to release? Then we have the action of writing it down, and the burning it is kind of like our physical representation of letting it go, of surrendering, of dropping, of putting it down, however you want to put it. Because when we actually officially close one door, we're able to open other parts within us and have the universe bring what we truly want to us. But if, you know, all these doors and all these little cracks are still open, you know, one of the things that I do during the full moon is, I agree, you know, you always start with your attention to prayer. You cleanse your energy with sage or Palo Santo, whatever type of cleansing energy that you use. I like to use different type of incense, like, I'm going to mess up this name and please help me, Namachampa.
Nag Champa.
Love that. It smells so good. Or Patahuchi. I know I botched that one up completely.
I don't know the name of that. I don't know.
Holy or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And anyways, and so I light that, and I put on my, you know, relaxing music, and I write down things that I want to release. And so I have a candle, and, you know, if it's a glass candle, I write on a piece of paper, and I put the intention. If it's not a glass, if I like the pillar candles, I write my name, and I write, you know, what I actually wanted to release. And sometimes I put like herbs or oils on it, depending, you know, what I'm feeling during that day. But basically it's honoring your intuition that's inside of you. Because it's like Sag is all about, you know, adventure and, you know, risks. And like, I want you to think right now during this time, is there like something that's kind of like holding you back? Is there something that you're able to release, so where you can like kind of like really truly step out and like, you know, take those risks that you need to progress for your soul to actually fully, you know, be in that moment of why you actually incarnated. Because sometimes when we get into change, our ego goes, no, that's scary. That's no. And your ego doesn't want to change. Your soul might be screaming at you to change, but, you know, you always have free will. That's one of the most amazing, beautiful gifts as humans that we have, and also probably one of the most frustrating gifts of us humans that we have. But with all this energy that's going on right now, what do you think that, besides like, you know, having a releasement of things that no longer serve them, like what could truly possibly help people kind of gravitate their emotions?
You know, I think that's a good question to ask our audience. What are your ideas on how to release? What do you do to release your emotions? But my suggestion is write it out and burn it is what I normally do under the full moon anyway. You'll find when you start writing that it's like automatic. Even things that you haven't thought of, is you're just going to start writing and writing. There's times where I just can't stop writing. Like I just have to like remind myself, okay, it's time to stop now, because it's just like automatic writing. It just comes out. I think you need to, if you feel angry, you need to honor that too. And that's a way of releasing your emotion. Holding it in is not going to serve anybody. So if we're feeling angry, yes, pay attention, because Mars is there squaring the moon. We've said this over and over again so far. That's the god of war right there, you know, and these are our emotions. So we may feel abrupt, angry emotions. And I think it's important to feel and honor those emotions, let it out, but also be aware that, you know, this is happening in the sky, and it can become very intense to, like, you know, calm down at the same time, like be in control of it, but don't hold it in. Honor it, feel it, emote however you need to. I know like friends and family members who have screamed into pillows, who have punched pillows, things of that sort, but it's moving the energy, and that's something we really need to do. We cannot sit here stagnant with this energy. And I mean, look around us. Nobody is sitting stagnant anymore. People are getting, I mean, in the nice way, ticked off, and enough is enough. So if it's not directed in a constructive way, it's going to be destructive. So we really need to pay attention to what's going on around us. We're going to all feel these emotions. We have no choice. What would you do? What is your idea? Like, put that in the comments below. How do you release any kind of anger or emotion that is you're holding on to? What is it that you do, Christine?
I guess it kind of honestly depends. So like if I get really angry, you're gonna laugh at this, but I cry, and I know how they get, but sometimes I get so angry that I just start crying. It's like one of the ways that my body literally releases the anger. Or I take a walk outside. Grounding is probably the number one thing that helps me. Going by the ocean, just listening to the waves and bringing down my energy, because, you know, I couldn't agree with you more. You know, anger is, you know, my personal thing, it's a healthy emotion, because it gives you the ability to actually do something with the feelings, so they get moved, so they don't become stagnant and cause a physical disease in your body. So, but it's how you channel your anger. If you're going to be destructive, you know, you could be hurting yourself or hurting others, but you can, you know, take that anger and do something positive with it. Like, you know, be the change that you wish to see in the world with that anger. Just, you know, think about what is actually bothering you, and then how can you actually make it better? How can you add value to it? How can you change something? Because if we're just going to sit there and, you know, get pissed off and we do nothing, you know, that could be a problem. Or if we get upset and then we go another route, you know, you just have to be very mindful and honor your emotions that are going on right now. But just grounding really truly helps me, and doing the writing. I like to write when I'm upset. I write.
And we're still in Gemini right now, which is about, you know, writing and communicating and doing all that. This is a sacred space for ourselves to really honor our intuition, our feelings, our emotions. Like you said, if you feel like you need to cry, go cry. I have been finding myself very emotional lately by what's happening in the world around us. And things are just bringing me to tears. Not even just like the sad things, the wonderful, beautiful things that were really not being shown are really bringing me to tears.
Truly pay attention to your thoughts and emotion, because the turnaround time on manifesting, I'm not sure if you're paying attention to this, it's speeding up really quickly. Where before you would say something and you would think something, you'd feel something, and it'd be in your life in 6 months, then starting to turn to a couple of weeks, then starting to turn to a couple of days. And now I'm actually seeing, if I say something, it's happening within 24 hours. Yeah. So be very careful what you're putting out there, because your energy is, you're attracting it to a lot quicker. And those emotions speed up, it intensify the energy, and it tells the universe, oh, she has it, boom, it sends it back to you even quicker. So be mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of your emotions, pay attention to them, honor them, feel them, release them if it's no longer serving you, and try to, you know, ground yourself during these times. And especially The empaths out there, like you're picking up on the collective conscious, the energy, and it feels heavy. You feel like you have anxiety. You feel sometimes nauseous. You might be having problems sleeping. And, you know, it's important that you have a conversation with your spiritual posse, your gangsters of love, and, you know, telling your higher self, I feel it, but I have to release it because this isn't helping me. This is probably hurting me. So I'm going to send Gaia love. I'm going to send, you know, these situations love, but then I'm going to have to put it down because it's interfering now with my personal energy system. I just know I'm speaking from experience with myself, what I've been doing these last couple of days. And, you know, with people contacting me and like, you know, write in the comments below, have you felt any type of physical sensations going on, you know, during these last couple of days? And, you know, empaths, you pick up on it a couple of days before it actually happens. So like the uneasiness, the unsettlingness, you might have been feeling that since sometime last week, not just this weekend. So
yeah, and I just want to reiterate, if you're feeling these feelings and not releasing them, you're probably going to feel it well on after the eclipse, well on after these energies move along, because you're holding on to it. I feel like we're being imprinted with it, like as we speak. And maybe, like you said, even a few days earlier, you said about 10 days ago, you started noticing it. And if we're not taking the opportunity to release, that's what this whole show is about. The ebb and flow, release and let go. It's about releasing under the full moon and receiving under the new moon. This is our natural pattern, our natural rhythm. So we take that opportunity and set that intention under these energies, under these new moons, full moons, especially with these eclipses. I'm telling you, it's important. It's potent energy right now. You take that and you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to be like, thank you. I know from my own experience, when I do it, I have stuff building up inside me, especially if I don't do it like every month. I let it go for a month or two. I find myself just releasing so much. And it's so powerful and necessary right now. Necessary.
I cannot agree with you more. So, you know, honor what you're feeling. Listen to what your body says. Sometimes you might be a little bit more tired. If you're tired, take a nap if you can. Your body also tells you necessarily what you want to eat for food. And like, I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but you know, for instance, if you're craving carbs, it's, you know, your body's telling you need more energy. Or if you're craving meat, possibly, your bodies might be telling you need more iron. So it speaks to you. And just, you know, honor and, you know, be easy on yourself. You know, for these next couple of days, it's a very intense week. And so just don't be so hard on yourself. That's probably the biggest thing.
That's perfect. Well said. Well said. Don't be hard on yourself. Like I said, honor those emotions. Don't get mad at yourself for being mad. I know so many people who do that. I'm one of them. When I get upset and get mad and lash out, I get really upset with myself. But I know we need to do that. We have to release this energy. So on that note, I would like to say, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you would like more information, what are aspects, you know, what does squaring mean? What does sextiling mean? Please write them in the comments below. We love to help. We love to talk about this. So if you have any questions whatsoever, in fact, I have this book right here, which really helps me with aspects. It's called Aspects in Astrology by Sue Tompkins. I mean, she really explains a lot here. So I'm going to put that in the descriptions below, because some people may be lost. Like, what are they talking about with the squares? And what are they talking about with sextiling? So if you have any questions regarding any type of astrology, even if it has nothing to do with what we talked about today or any other time, please comment below. Let us know. I would love to help you with that. Because when I teach you, I learn too.
Absolutely.
Please hit that notification bell, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel, because we have a great episode coming up for you very soon on the new moon and the powerful energies that are coming along with that eclipse as well.
Yeah, and it's gonna be an interesting summer, y'all. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yes.
Transformational.
We need that, right?
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for your time, Jamie. I thank you for doing the show with you. And it's like Jamie said, if you have any questions, comment below, and we'll be more than happy to help you in any way that we can. Thank you so much.
Until next time, happy manifesting. Much love, everyone.
Ciao.